Adding fractions is not as simple when the denominators are different. So here, if we have one pizza that's cut into 8 slices, and we have 5 of them left, then we have another pizza that's cut into 16 slices, and we have 3 of those left. Well, we can't add these because the pieces are different sizes. So the first thing you're going to do when you add fractions with different denominators is cut the pizzas into the same number of slices. So to add fractions when the denominators are different, the first thing you're going to do is find a common denominator and make equivalent fractions. Then you're going to add the numerators. Obviously, the denominator will stay the same. And then you're going to simplify. And by that, I mean, if it's an improper fraction, then you're going to change it to a mixed number. And if it can reduce, then you reduce to lowest terms. So for example, say you have 5/8 plus 3/16, which is what we just had with those slices of pizza. Right now, I rewrite them personally this way. I just find it easier. Okay, so now I need to find the lowest common denominator, and in this case, 8 will go evenly into 16, so I'm just going to use 16 for the common denominator. And 8 times 2 is 16, so 5 times 2 is 10. Awesome. And now I can add 10 and 3, and that gives me 13/16. Now this answer doesn't reduce because 13 is a prime number, so it only divides by 1 in itself, and it's also not an improper fraction. Let's try another example. Say we're going to add 6/8 plus 5/6. And again, I rewrite them horizontally. You might not, but I find it easier because that's the way I've always done it. Alright, so we need to find a common denominator because we can't add 6/8 and 5/6. Okay, so 6 doesn't go into 8, so we need to take the biggest denominator, which is 8, and we'll go like 8 times 2 is 16. Does 6 go into 16? Well, no, it doesn't. 8 times 3 is 24. Does 6 go into 24? Well, yes, it does. So we'll use 24 as a common denominator. And 8 times 3 is 24. So 6 times 3 is 18. And 6 times 4 is 24. So if we multiply a number on the bottom by something, we're going to multiply the number on the top by the same one. So 5 times 4 is 20. Now we have fractions that have the same denominator, so we can add. And the denominator is going to stay the same. It's 24. And 18 plus 20 is 38. Now this is an improper fraction, and it'll reduce, so we have to simplify. So let's start by dividing 24 into 38, and it goes in once. And there's 14 left over, so it's 1 and 14/24. Now these are both even numbers, so we know they'll reduce. And 14 divided by 2 is 7, and 24 divided by 2 is 12. That won't reduce any further, so the answer is 1 and 7/12. Now on a final note, if you were to have more than 2 fractions that you're adding, then you'd follow the same process. So if you had 1/3 plus 1/2 plus 1/4, you would find a common denominator for the 3 of them. And in this case, it would be, 12. all of them divide into 12. So you'd create equivalent fractions with 12 as the common denominator, and then add.